Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for the WIN Show on KZKO. Take part with the cast by sending your suggestions for each segment throughout the week or during the show by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, Twitter at World Improv Net, or the WIN KZKO blog. Now, enjoy the show.
It's local. It's global. You are listening to WIN World Local News.
WIN World Local News with Potter Smittss. Our top story today is brought to us by WIN contributor Cowboy Fred of Rapid City, South Dakota. Heterosexual couples celebrating their wedding anniversary seem to have flocked to the annual Denver Gay Pride Fest this past weekend in droves. To find out why straight and narrow couples were celebrating their wedding vows in a menagerie of prideful sexuality, let's go live to WIN LGBT reporter Mr. George Straight Gay, who is at the Civic Center Park in Denver, Colorado with the colorful details. Mr. Straight Gay?
Oh, yeah, well, thank you, Potter, and I gotta say, it is great to be here. It is very festive. We have people of all sorts here, gays and straights, homosexuals and non-sexuals, all together celebrating marriage. Now, I have with me here a fellow cowpoke from Wyoming, a straight gentleman, I am told, and you have traveled a long way to be here with your wife here at the Gay Pride Parade, Gay Pride Fest. Now, what has attracted you to this homosexual event?
Well, frankly, it's just we don't know any gay folks where we're from, so we thought our wedding anniversary. I mean, me and my wife Merlene, we figured this would be as good an opportunity, as good a weekend as any other.
And this weekend is your wedding anniversary?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, well, that's great. Wonderful happenstance. A great celebration of love to be part of here.
Well, in actual fact, we kind of planned it out 33 years ago that we'd have our anniversary on this weekend. And Frank over here, when he told me this, when he proposed to me, I was shocked. I can't think that far in the future, Frank. And he said, well, trust me, 33 years later from now, we're going to be in Denver, Colorado at the Gay Pride Festival celebrating our marriage.
Yeah, it's really important for me to make plans as far out as 33 years in the future, because it gives me something to look forward to and to live for eventually.
Now, I have to stop you, Frank. I am frightened by your Nostradamus-like planning capabilities to know 33 years in the future that you would be right here on this day. We have not heard of that kind of predictive power on this earth in 300 or 400 years.
That's why we got married. He predicted that he would meet me on this exact day to propose and get married. He knew it all. He's also the best ranch hand up in the whole state.
Well, now that I gotta say that's wonderful. Now, what, Frank? What other things are you planning for you and your wife that coincide with future events of great significance?
Well, 17 years from now, we are going to we're gonna have a grandchild. And that will also be on the day of the presidential election of Michael J. Fox.
Wow, that is a wonderful prediction. Now, I think
it's more than the gears are in motion.
Can you specifically point to any of these gears?
Well, I can interrupt here if you don't mind.
Please do.
Frank, from what I understand, he's gotten all his divine intervention and guidance from the cattle that he rustles up there. And the way that there's a line and talk to him, that's how we figured this all out. So it's not a matter of a prediction. He's right. It's already in motion. The cattle already ordained that Michael J. Fox is going to be president in 17 years.
Wow.
And his vice president will be Tim Gunn.
Tim Gunn from Project Runway?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Wow. I want to thank you two for sharing that with us. And Potter, be ready for 17 years from now. Cattle have ordained Michael J. Fox will be president. All hail our new cattle overlords.
Well, thank you, Mr. Straight Gay. That's a great story, and I'm looking forward to having Tim Gunn in the Oval Office as a vice president designer. It's fantastic. Well, our next story of monumental significance is provided to us by WIN contributor Ruslan of Moscow, Russia. To counter recent Russian aggression in Eastern Europe, the United States has decided to send weapons and rapid reaction force commandos to our NATO allies. To find out what this military peacocking between the U.S. and the Soviet Union, the Russian Federation, is all about, let's go live to WIN senior military reporter Mr. George St. Patton, who's at the Palace Square in St. Petersburg, Russia, with an exclusive interview with Soviet President Vladimir Putin. Mr. St. Patton?
Yes. Thank you, Potter. I'm here, President Putin. Now, there is a military buildup going on. You yourself, big fan of military buildups. Okay, yeah, yes, and now you seem not at all threatened. You are, I would call you nonplussed by this particular military buildup.
That is right. I am not feeling threatened one bit. If anything, this reveals the insecurities of the puny Westerners.
Now, you are not at all bothered. They are gathering tanks by the thousands, men by the tens of thousands, guns and ammo by the millions. None of this, you are not worried about Russia's security in one little bit?
No, I think these are empty, hollow gestures. They may appear threatening from the outside, but if you are to look into the eyes of a Westerner, a United States person, you will see into their heart how it too is cold and hollow, and not beating with the blood of a human being who seeks to achieve destiny by grabbing it with their own hands.
Now you're calling the Westerners Americans. You are calling us weak? You are saying we don't have the willingness to act, sir?
I am simply stating what history has demonstrated.
Well, I would say that history has demonstrated, if you ask the people of Vietnam, of Cambodia, of Korea, of the Axis powers of World War II, of the Iraqis and Pakistanis, that we are more than willing to act, sir. And take that from America.
You will regret that. You will regret all these blows you throw at me.
My head!
I'm sorry to have killed your news reporter, George St. Patton, Potter. Back to you and your puny Westerner news report.
Oh my goodness, we lost Patton. We finally lost Patton. And Putin's got the microphone. Oh, I hope he doesn't hijack the rest of the world news.
You better watch out.
Oh no. Oh, Mr. Putin, please. You can be forgiving. We are not as puny as you once think, but we will bow down to your feet. Well, let's see if we can get a check on the global sports and head on over to the World Sports Desk.
Yes, we'll head over to the World Sports Desk.
Oh my God, Vladimir, you're still there. Well, maybe you can help Fired Up Frank, if you'd be so kind, with this story. He's in Carlsbad, California at the annual pre-salinized seawater drinking championships. How's the competition looking out there, Fired Up? And what do you think, Vladimir?
Thanks, Potter. I gotta tell you, there's a lot of refreshment going on. Everybody's pretty relaxed. Just guzzling this pre-salinated water, which, I'll be honest, I don't exactly know what that means. I don't know if it means it has salt or not. Nobody's thrown up yet, so I think it's fresh water. You're saying, I'm told Vladimir Putin, is on the line? Sir, what exactly does that mean?
Pre-salinated means it has not been salted yet, but as it is salt water, it need not be salinated because seawater already has salt in it.
Wow! I gotta say, I am so happy to have you as part of our broadcast, Vladimir. I never would have figured that out. I'm just gonna go back to watching these people guzzle liquid. Back to you, Potter.
Well, maybe Vladimir is a huge benefit to the world news. Maybe we can have him on every week. Well, he should be able to stick around for the next story, too. So let's get a look on the global weather and see what Tulip Sunswing's up to. She's in Beshkek, Kyrgyzstan at the World Nomad Games. How's the weather looking out there in Central Asia, Tulip? And why are you at the World Nomad Games?
People are hustling to and fro, setting up tents, taking camels and horses, trying to establish some kind of railing system as to tie up their horses. It's mighty windy out here. Everybody has goggles or some kind of handkerchief covering their face. Mr. Putin, what do you think of the techniques that people have been using thus far today?
They are all weak and puny. I will only say that, as you can tell, many people are coughing. They cannot handle the dust. And as you can tell by looking at me, I need no goggles or a handkerchief or mouth guard or anything. I breathe dust.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. Vladimir Putin breathes dust. It's very windy. It's a cloudless day. The sun is shining. If you're out here in Kyrgyzstan, make sure you bring some sunscreen, PF50 at least. Potter, back to you.
Well, thank you, Tulip, for that weather, and thank you for reporting from the Nomadic Games. And
that was a puny weather report.
That was, typical Tulip, perhaps maybe not the most
typical weakling.
Well, we can understand that, Mr. Vladimir, and thank you so much for assisting in our stories despite the murder of one of our correspondents. You've done great help today. Thank you so much.
It was his fate.
Oh, well, that's understandable. I guess we're all destined to die at some point in time, and thank you all for tuning in to WIN World Local News. I'm Potter Smittss, and stay tuned next for Community Court on the World Improv Network.
Give the WinCast your suggestions via Facebook, Twitter, or the KZKO WIN blog during the commercial break of a case that needs to be heard during Community Court. Next on KZKO.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with another exciting segment for WIN on KZKO The Vibe.